Week one is officially upon us. Johnny Venerable Bo Brack, PHNX Cardinals, joined by All-City NFL insider analyst Baldy. Baldy's breakdowns here with Brian Baldinger. Baldy, we've got a robust slate here in week one. Arizona Cardinals travel to New Orleans. On the surface level, what stands out to this game for you?
Well, I mean, it starts with, honestly, just what you're going to see from the New Orleans Saints. They just named their starting quarterback. I was there in training camp this summer. Neither one was impressive, but they went with whatever the veteran you want to call, a guy that's going to start his, sixth or seventh game. But, I mean, to me, it's always about affecting the quarterback. And the Cardinals have spent a lot of money and resources upgrading their defense. This should be – I mean, they got a soft schedule to start with, but they should get off to a good start. Defensively, they should be able to take care of business. This is not a juggernaut that they're going into to play the New Orleans Saints. And if I'm the Cardinals, I'm not overlooking them. I'm just not going to give them the respect that you would some other teams in week one.
Baldy, today in his press conference, Jonathan Gannon admitted that he hasn't had the greatest track record against Kellen Moore, but Dak Prescott's not walking through that door. Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, like those guys as quarterbacks he's worked with in the past, they're not going to be playing on Sunday. You know, JG as a DC gave up 40 points, 50 points to Kellen Moore and the Cowboys way back when. But does that even play a factor here? I mean, you got to imagine like there's just too big of a difference in personnel.
No, it doesn't make a difference. Kellen is a really good play caller. I was there at a scrimmage this year. They had 126 play scrimmage. He called every snap. I mean, it was literally 2.5 straight hours of scrimmage. But I mean, he wanted to get his team ready for the regular season, so they put him through the paces. Like he's worked them hard, and they're out there in that New Orleans heat. I mean, they'll be in shape. They'll be ready. It's always a tough place to play, but Spencer Ratliff is not he's not a star quarterback. I mean, you got to get to him. They've got some speed on the outside that you have to be wary of. Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, they can run with anybody. They've got speed on the outside, I'm sure, and the offense line has been upgraded. So, they have ways to get the ball down the field. But, I mean, if I was Jonathan Gannon, I would be delivering a message all week that we are not going there to fool around, to wait and see what we got. We're going there to attack, and I would get after it real early, real fast. I mean, whether it's blitz schemes or pressure schemes or, whatever you got to do. I mean, I would turn up the heat real quick on this kid to see what he's got.
Yeah, I think that mindset, Baldy, has to be echoed to the offensive side of the ball as well. You've got Brandon Staley, who has had some success as a DC previously, but he's got a brand new unit. Let's just call a spade, like lacking personnel. Reminds me a lot of where the Cardinals were a couple of years ago. I mean, for Kyler Murray in this offense, Bo and I have made this consistent argument that it can't just look okay, a move the sticks kind of game. These are the kind of games where you have to put up crooked numbers in a robust league, especially when you're going indoors. All the advantages to the offense for the Arizona Cardinals.
Fast track. I mean, I agree. And they are a talent challenge team right now. They just are. And they've missed on a lot of pass rushers that they have drafted. They've all moved on. A lot of them have moved on to other teams. This is not a bona fide defense. This is the defense where you go, let's go execute. Let's go execute, and let's put up a big number. Let's get this thing started right. Nobody played in the preseason. Like they've all been kind of like, underneath the hood here. So let's come out and be sharp. This is the third year together with this group right now. If I'm the Cardinals, I'm not sitting there and waiting to see what we have. You should know what you have. 3 years, same system, same play caller. Like, they've upgraded it in certain areas over the couple of years now, but they want to run it. They should be able to run it. You want to get Marvin Harrison Jr. going, then get him going. Like there's going to be opportunities to do a lot of that stuff, but ultimately it comes down to, really good execution, crisp execution, something that, was missing from this team at the end of the season last year.
Yeah, I mean, we know they can run the football. James Conner, that offensive line, it's all geared to establish the run. But the biggest concern, something you've talked about, is that Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. connection. And we talked to Kyler today. He says, as far as their chemistry, their communication, it's night and day. But what can they do in this game specifically to kind of set the tone for 2025?
Well, I mean, really, it's about them. I mean, you could say, okay, let's attack. The left corner, Paulson Adebo isn't there anymore. They play a lot of press coverage. At least they have in the past. Now, it's not really what Brandon Staley does. But regardless, I mean, you want to get your playmakers the ball. And so I want to see him get the ball in Marvin's hands. I don't care if it's hit screens or tunnel screens or, quick slants. I want to get my number one receiver the ball. I want to target him. I want him to feel like he's involved in this game. He's going to be involved, not in just this game, but going forward. I want to feed him. And we know we can get the ball to Trey McBride. We know we can hand it off to a couple of really good backs. But you need to get Marvin Harrison involved in this game. And it doesn't matter if he's going up against Alontae Taylor or whoever's at corner right now. They've got to attack. And that's the way you have to play it if you have your goal to go win the NFC West division.
Yeah, and a big part of that obviously is going to be the play of Kyler Murray. And again, entering his seventh year, he's had times where he's looked like, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And he's got times where you're begging for some consistency, Baldy. Like, it's difficult for us to nitpick an opening Sunday in September, where in large stretches of the season, he's going to be evaluated fair and on what he does November and December. Is there anything that he can show you on Sunday? And some critics out there of Kyler Murray, of where he's gone as an evolution of a thrower of the football, somebody who is going to be in that category that we thought first overall pick once upon a time, Lamar, Joe Burrow, etc.
Well, I mean, look, if the throw is there to be made on time, make the throw on time. We know that Kyler Murray can extend plays. Great. Okay. If you choose to do that because you got an occluded, vision to the middle of the field, whatever, and you got to move to go get better vision. All right, great. But be fundamentally sound. Set your feet, make the throw. If you just want to say Joe Burrow, I mean, Joe Burrow is nearly perfect every time he throws a football. That's why the ball goes where he wants it to go more times than not. That's why they had the best receiver in football last year. I mean, Kyler Murray knows how to throw a football, but he still has to be fundamentally sound. And you can't play, for lack of a better term, you're not going to win playing street ball. Like, no, you can get out of the pocket, you can move, you can extend plays, but get your feet set, make your throw, be accurate with the throw, and that all comes from fundamentals. And it always comes back to fundamentals. Throwing the ball through a tire. Every quarterback is challenged to do that. Some do it better than others. It's time for Kyler to do that. And really, against teams, I mean, this schedule, I mean, it sets up pretty good to get some momentum. And to get some feel good about you early in the season. So, but only take it one at a time. You take this New Orleans team. This is a team where you should have one of those days where you're 26-31 and you're 280 yards. I mean, it should be that kind of a day, honestly, for Kyler.
Yeah, to kind of follow up on that, maybe sum up this offensive performance that we're expecting here come Sunday. I mean, talk about Burrow to Jamar Chase, like that perfect connection exists between Kyler Murray and Trey McBride. We know they can do that. We know they can run the football. If they don't get that connection going with Marv, can you take that as a slight against this team, even in a solid win?
I mean, you take the win, number one, and you'll move on. But you would certainly like to see in year two, you'd like to see that connection, really look like a connection. And we all know what it will look like. Third downs, red zone, you need to play, you got to extend a drive. You're in a 2-minute drive. You need a chunk. I mean, there's a reason why Jamar was the fifth player taken in the draft or something like that. Whatever it was. I mean, that's what Marvin was basically. So like, make it look like that. And that's why otherwise it's going to look like, it just needs to get off to a good start. They've had the whole off season. All the problems they had last year where they looked like they were disconnected, like that should be gone. This should body language, routes, timing, comebacks, like this should be crisp on Sunday.
Yeah, I echo that. I think style points matter, Baldy, for some of these games. It can't look like at the end of last year, beating bad teams like New England and, the Jets and the Bears. We know they can beat bad teams, but can this team evolve as an operation? We mentioned at year 3 with Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenford. Like, what's your confidence level in the regime? Because again, you talk about like the crescendo, the rebuild is over, right? These are their players. These are their draft picks, free agent signings. You've got both coordinators coming back. I mean, your assessment of whether or not like this team is built for the postseason this year.
Well, you got to stack W's. I don't care. And if there's injuries, there's injuries. I mean, you got Jacoby Brissett there. If anything happens to Kyler, he's won a lot of games in this league. He's been a starter. I mean, you look across the board, and they've got solid starters, and they've got solid veterans. And but this is the third year for Jonathan Gannon. I don't know how patient you need to be. Third year with Monty. I mean, this is a regime that should compete. Seattle won 10 games last year in a new regime, so everybody, Sean McVay didn't take long before he put the Rams on the map. So he's gotten to the Super Bowl with 2 different quarterbacks, and they built teams, and they built good teams. But this is a wide open division in my mind. And so this is the year you got to go. This is it. This is the year you got to go put up a minimum of 10 wins. 10 wins didn't get Seattle in the playoffs last year, so it might not be good enough. But this is the year that you want to put it all together.
Preface my question with this. I like what Monty Ossenford did with the pass rush room this offseason. Goes out and gets Sweaty J. Josh Sweat comes over. Big performance in the Super Bowl, has been consistent there in Philly, playing all those different roles that they like the outside linebacker to do. They bring back Baron Browning. Really like Jordan Birch as a 3rd-round pick out of Oregon. And then we see Micah Parsons last week get dealt to Green Bay. I think Albert Breer said there were maybe 6 teams that inquired seriously on Parsons. Anytime you're going to see Parsons go, like, should that team have been in on him? Like, should the Cardinals have been on him? And what do you think about their pass rush room? Is it enough to compete?
It's not elite. It's not an elite group. It's a good group. We'll see what Jordan Birch becomes. It's a good group. But if I never believed that Micah Parsons was going to be dealt the whole time, I never believed it until it happened on last Thursday. But if he truly was available and you weren't all in for what they gave up, which was, I couldn't believe, Green Bay is going to probably be a playoff team like they were a year ago. You're going to get 2 picks in the 20s. You're not going to find another Micah Parsons in the 20s. Like, if you had a chance to get Micah Parsons, it changes. Green Bay, in my mind, is the favorite to win that division right now. But he changes the balance of power in this business when you get a player goes. I'm not comparing him to Reggie White, but I was in Philly when Reggie left via free agency to Green Bay. He changed that entire organization and won a Super Bowl 3 years later. Like, those kind of players change the balance of power in any division.
Last year, Baldy, the top of the NFC West was separated by just a game or 2. In fact, it was a tiebreaker between the Rams and the Seahawks. And then a lot of people are backing on San Francisco, given the fact their schedule is incredibly soft. Like, how do you see this division playing out? Because, again, I think you could make an argument for any of the 4 teams.
You can, but it really comes down to how you play in your own division. Like, they're going to play the AFC South. Right. So there's a lot of wins in the AFC South, in my mind. You're going to see one week 2. Like, there's wins there. Your home opener is against Carolina. Like that. You're going to see Jacksonville. You're going to see Tennessee. It's how you play in your division right now. And you build your team to win in your division. That's why they went out there and added all these defensive pieces. Now, we'll see how they all come together. But, in my mind, they had to upgrade the defense, and they did. At least on paper, they have. So now let's go affect these quarterbacks. Let's go affect Sam Darnold and, Brock Purdy. Let's get after, Matthew Stafford. Let's see how good that back is. Like all those kind of things. You build your team to win in your division. You see these teams twice. You got 6 division games. I think the winner of the division probably comes out of the division with the best record.
We're not going to be able to see Walter Nolan start the season for the next 4 games at least with the calf injury, but we're really excited about 2nd-round pick Will Johnson, 47th overall, slides because of the medical flag near towards the end of the draft process. What do you need to see from the Michigan product early on? And it seems like it's a good opportunity here going against Rattler, going against this passing attack.
I agree. Like I liked Will, and I think he's going to be a really good player. He's got great ball skills. He did at Michigan, and I like he brings that to the table, and so I think it's a pretty good secondary. I think I don't have any statistics in front of me, but I think Jalen Buddha might have more games played together at safety than any other safety combination in this whole league. They really play well together, and Buddha has his own package. They gamble a great deal. They're good tacklers. Like I want to see Will. You know, I'm anxious to see if he's actually going to travel and if he's going to go match up, you know, on a Tetaroa McMillan or like, you know, whoever he might play, Chris Olave, whatever. Like, or is he just going to stay on one side of the field? Because I think he's got the ability to actually travel, but like I think he's a special player. And ultimately, if you're going to win this division this year, my guess is you're going to have a minimum of 25 takeaways. That's where you got to get to. If you get to 30, I'd say you have a good chance to win the division. So you need guys who have ball skills, and you need to get the ball to come out. You need to punch it out. I'm sure they work on those drills every day, but Will Johnson has his ball skills have traveled with him.
Baldy, looking around the quarterback kind of hierarchy in this division, Stafford, again, coming off an injury, but it appears on pace to play this weekend. Then you look at Brock Purdy with, you know, consistency, but limitations to a lot of people. But then Sam Darnold is kind of the anomaly of this group where he was with a loaded offensive team, a high-level offensive head coach last year. He goes to inclement weather, I think you could say, in Seattle with a bunch of new pieces. Like, what's your assessment, your prediction for Darnold in this division?
I expect him to play really well. Now, he was awesome last year up until, you know, the final 2 weeks of the season. But the offensive line collapsed around him. Look, he went, you know, after failed stops in New York and in Carolina, like he was in some really good spots. He was in San Francisco with Kyle. You know, he's been with Kevin O'Connell. He's been around some really great offensive coaches. And now he's with Clint Kubiak, who I think is a real quality offensive coordinator. I think he's got a solid, a solid offense that he has installed. And Sam's perfect for it. He's got good movement. He goes to his left really good. There's a lot of bootlegs to the left. He sees the field very well. He's not a guy that flinches much under pressure. And so he's got a good offensive line. They've really upgraded it. Gray Zabel looks like a great pick for him. They look like they're a lot better up front. I expect Sam Darnold to play at a very high level.
Real quick, Baldy, my last question is are they the team with the highest upside in this division, like talent wise? Because I think we've seen an exodus of talent in San Francisco. We like a lot of the players for the Cardinals. They're unproven. And then, you know, the Rams have an old quarterback and you trust McVay. Do you think Seattle has the best collection, 53-man roster?
Well, it's sort of, you know, it all depends. Like if Christian McCaffrey is McCaffrey from 2 years ago, then San Francisco is going to be right in the mix because he's just that good and he sets everything up. But Seattle has upgraded their talent across the board. Like Mike McDonald's a great coach. And defensively, he does things that forces quarterbacks to hold the ball. Brock Purdy's going to see that defense week one. And so he forced you to hold the ball. That's why they led the league in takeaways and in sacks 2 years ago in Baltimore, because that's what teams were doing. It took about a half a year last year to figure it out. But Mike McDonald's a good coach. And if they play to his vision, they're gonna be very tough.
Baldy, along with you joining us this season, we upgraded our roster even more so. We added Kurt Warner. He's going to start joining us twice a month.
I hear he knows a little bit about the game.
He does a little bit. Of course,
I don't know if that Wi-Fi in Brazil right now is working good enough for him to check in with you guys, but you should get me and Kurt on at the same time. I'll just try to get a word in edgewise when Kurt is talking. But
well, I just wanted to see if you had any encouraging messages for our new colleague coming up next week, because he can't join us because he is in Brazil, but he'll join us next week. Anything you want us to pass along to your NFL Network colleague?
Well, tell Kurt that he has to analyze more than just quarterbacks. Like my mother can analyze quarterbacks. Tell him to start looking at right guards and left defensive tackles. See if he's got an eye for how those guys are playing.
Yeah, we want to see Kurt's breakdown of Isaiah Adams and Jordan Birch.
I want to see Isaiah Adams breakdown. All right.
Baldy, where are you at this weekend, my guy?
I am in Philly tomorrow night, Philly and Dallas tomorrow night. And then I'll be in Washington, Giants in Washington on Sunday.
NFC East. All right.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be joining us all season long. So fortunate to have him back in the fold.
Yeah.
Brian Baldinger, NFL Network, All City NFL analyst. Thank you so much, my guy.
You got it, guys. All the best, man. Good luck this week.